here to St Catherine's Church in Hoarwithy for our memorial remembrance service as we have repaired the gravestone of George Henry Edwards. And I was just thinking while we were waiting here of the anticipation of knowing that your son or your brother was in hospital in this country with wounds, so would most likely be coming home, and then the devastation when they die from those wounds, as of course so many young men did 100 years ago. So welcome to our ceremony. We are going to read out the names of the other men from Hoarwithy who died during the First World War. So we're first of all going to say together the Lord's Prayer. We haven't printed the words, so we'll use the traditional version, which I think a lot of people will know. And then we're just going to hear the names read out of the other men from Hoarwithy who died during the First World War. So let's say together the words of the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.
Lance Corporal Herbert Clark, 2nd Battalion, Lincolnshire Regiment.
Private Albert Davis, 6th Battalion, King Shropshire Light Infantry.
Private George Henry Edwards, 1st Battalion, the Herefordshire Regiment.
Corporal Leonard Hubert Edwards, 2nd Battalion, Welsh Regiment.
Private James William Gwilym, Army Service Corps, attached to the 1st Division, New Zealand Army Service Corps.
Private James Charles Innes, 1st Battalion, the Herefordshire Regiment.
Private Ernest Richard Keddle, 5th Battalion, King Shropshire Light Infantry.
Private William Isaac Lewis, 1st Battalion, Welsh Regiment.
Private Albert Edward Pruitt, Shropshire Yeomanry, attached to the 6th Company, Imperial Camel Corps.
Driver James Prosser, Royal Horse Artillery and Royal Field Artillery.
Private Edgar Mark Thomas, 5th Battalion, King Shropshire Light Infantry.
Stoker George Thomas, Royal Navy.
Private William James Thomas, 4th Battalion, Essex Regiment.
Private Arthur Albert Whiting, 6th Battalion, King Shropshire Light Infantry.
Private Lancelot Douglas Williams, Queen's Own Worcestershire Hussars.
Private Archer Townsend, the Herefordshire Regiment, attached to the 5th Battalion, King Shropshire Light Infantry.
Private James Albert Bundy, 1st 5th Battalion, Territorial, of the Gloucestershire Regiment and Monmouthshires.
Lieutenant Ernest Lucas, 2nd Battalion, South Wales Borderers.
Volunteer in our midst who's going to start us off with the words to the hymn. The words are on your service sheet.
And did those feet in ancient time walk upon England's mountains green, and was the holy Lamb of God on England's pleasant pastures seen, and did the countenance divine shine forth upon unclouded hills, and was Jerusalem builded here among those dark satanic mills. Bring me my bowl of burning gold, of fire. I will not cease from mental fight, nor shall my sword sleep in my hand, till we have built Jerusalem in England's green and pleasant land.
Our first reading is going to be from the Old Testament book of Ecclesiastes. I'm not quite sure who is reading. Oh, I'm reading. Lucky I've seen it before. Everything has its time. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to break down and a time to build up. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to seek and a time to lose. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to sow. A time to keep silence and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace.
George Henry Edwards was born on January the 25th, 1893 in Hentland and baptised here in this church. His parents, Thomas Edwards and Annie Margaret Morgan, were married in Hereford in July 1890 and set up home at Red Rail here in the village of Hoarwithy. Until Thursday, I thought they had 7 children, but I now know they had at least 8. Richard, George, William, Charles, Albert, Annie, Percy, Gertrude and Alfred, born in May 1914, a couple of months before war started. On the 1911 census, George gives his occupation as a thrashing machine worker, hence the choice of the next hymn. His little sister Gertrude died in 1913, aged just 6 months, and is buried here in the same grave as her brother. Their parents, Thomas and Annie, each lived to the age of 82, and they are also buried here in this churchyard. Several members of George's family have been traced, including the 4 surviving children of George's younger brother Charles, who are living in New South Wales and therefore sadly cannot join us today. But it gives me great pleasure to welcome almost 30 other members of George's direct family to this very special occasion. George was not the only son to sign up and serve for his country. 2 of his brothers, Richard and Charles, also joined the army, Charles returning from Australia, where he had recently emigrated. Whilst both Charles and Richard survived the war, sadly, none of their service records managed to survive the bombing of the War Office during the Blitz. However, from his original service number of 2970, it is possible to determine that George enlisted during November 1914 into the Volunteer Army, before conscription for single men started in January 1916. George was first wounded on the 14th of September 1915, whilst the 1st Battalion, the Herefordshire Regiment, were fighting in Gallipoli at Suvla Bay, hence the name of the barracks in Hereford. The battalion diary for that date simply reads, "A good deal of shrapnel over trenches today." Having recovered and returned to active service, George's name appears casualty list printed in the Times newspaper on Christmas Eve 1917. His death certificate confirms that he had received a gunshot wound to his chest several weeks prior to that, on November the 6th, during the Third Battle of Gaza. He was transferred to the Southern General Hospital in Bristol, where he sadly died 100 years ago today, on February the 4th, 1918. Notably, Private Edwards is one of 18 local men who paid the ultimate sacrifice for their country during the First World War, 5 of whom are buried here in this churchyard. His name also appears alongside each of the 27 officers and 495 other ranks identified so far from the Herefordshire Regiment alone, who died during the war and whose names are permanently commemorated in Hereford Cathedral.
A brief history of the Herefordshire Regiment during the First World War. On the 1st of August 1914, the county's territorial regiment, the Herefordshire Regiment, was called up for full-time service. Between August and December, over 2,500 young men from the county voluntarily enlisted in their ranks. Amongst these volunteers was Private Edwards. The battalion spent the next 10 months training in the east of England before landing over the beaches at Suvla Bay, Gallipoli. This battle was hard and bloody, and between August and December they suffered 80 fatalities, and nearly 900 men from a strength of 1,040 were evacuated either wounded or sick. Private Edwards being one of these men. The battalion was evacuated from Gallipoli to Egypt, where they recuperated and were brought up to strength, and took part in the defence of the Suez Canal. The breakout from Egypt across the Sinai Desert and into Palestine took place in 1917, and despite a failure to break through twice, in November 1917 the Allied forces were successful in the Third Battle of Gaza, which opened up the route for General Allenby's troops to liberate Jerusalem by Christmas 1917, leading eventually to the defeat of the Turks in the Middle East. The Herefordshire Regiment, part of the 53rd Division, played a crucial part in that third battle. The plan was to open up a route along the coastal strip, but this was dominated by high ground on the landward side. 53 Division's task was to occupy the high ground and thus allow the main attacking force to advance without Turkish interference. The part played in this hard-fought but rapid and spectacular success by 53 Division was acknowledged by General Allenby, who telegraphed to General Mott, the General Officer commanding of 53rd Division, "I congratulate you and your troops on admirable success of your efforts and your troops' gallant conduct. You have drawn the enemy into the very position required to facilitate success of the main operations of 20 Corps. Your operations have given us most favourable prospects of success, which now depend on the valour of the 53rd Division." The Herefordshire Regiment undertook a long and arduous approach march at night, and they burst upon the Turkish positions at first light. They met with considerable initial success and were on the point of carrying the day, including the capture of 9 Turkish artillery pieces, when a sudden and thick mist descended, throwing the battlefield into total confusion. Many Herefordshire soldiers fell casualties to artillery, machine gun and sniper fire. The Herefords maintained the position it had won until relieved by the 1st, 5th Royal Welsh Fusiliers the next day. During the course of the battle, the battalion took 5 officers and 39 soldiers as prisoners, and 10 the next day. The cost to the regiment was considerable, with 90 officers and men killed and many others wounded, among those wounded being Private Edwards.
And so with reference to the fact that Private Edwards was indeed an agricultural worker before he joined up in the war, our second hymn is We Plough the Fields and Scatter. So not what we normally sing at this time of year, but what we're going to sing today if our trusty leader could help us out here.
We plough the fields and scatter the good seed on the land, but it is fed and watered by God's almighty hand. He sends the snow in winter, the warmth to swell the grain, the breezes and the sunshine and soft refreshing rain. All good gifts around us are sent from heaven above. Then thank the Lord, oh thank the Lord for all his love. He only is the maker of all things near and far. He paints the wayside flower, he lights the evening star. The winds and waves obey him, by him the birds are fed. Much more to us his children, he gives our daily bread. All good gifts around us are sent from heaven above. Then thank the Lord, oh thank the Lord for all his love. We thank thee then, O Father, for all things bright and good, the seed time and the harvest, our life, our health, our food. Accept the gifts we offer, for all thy love imparts, and what thou most desirest, our humble thankful hearts. All good gifts around us are sent from heaven above. Then thank the Lord, oh thank the Lord for all his love.
We're going to hear two further readings now. The first is The Soldier by Rupert Brooke, and then the second one will be Perhaps, which is written in 1916 by Vera Brittain. Starting with The Soldier.
If I should die, think only this of me, that there's some corner of a foreign field that is forever England. There shall be in that rich earth a richer dust concealed, a dust whom England bore, shaped, made aware, gave once her flowers to love, her ways to roam, a body of England's breathing English air, washed by the rivers, blessed by the suns of home. And think this heart all evil shed away, a pulse in the eternal mind no less. Give somewhere back the thoughts by England given, her sights and sounds, dreams happy as her day, and laughter learnt of friends and gentleness, in hearts at peace under an English heaven.
Perhaps. Perhaps someday the sun will shine again, and I shall see that still the skies are blue, and feel once more I do not live in vain, although bereft of you. Perhaps the golden meadows at my feet will make the sunny hours of spring seem gay, and I shall find the white may blossom sweet, though you have passed away. Perhaps the summer woods will shimmer bright, and crimson roses once again be fair, and autumn harvest fields a rich delight, although you are not there. Perhaps someday I shall not shrink in pain to see the passing of the dying year, and listen to Christmas songs again, although you cannot hear. But though kind time may many joys renew, there is one greatest joy I shall not know again, because my heart for the loss of you was broken long ago.
So now let us pray for all who suffer as a result of conflict and ask that God may give us peace. For the servicemen and women who have died in the violence of war, each one remembered by and known to God. May God give peace.
God give peace.
For all members of the armed forces who are in danger this day, remembering family, friends, and all who pray for their safe return. May God give peace.
God give peace.
For civilian women, children, and men whose lives are disfigured by war or terror, calling to mind in penitence the anger and hatreds of humanity. May God give peace.
God give peace.
For peacemakers and peacekeepers who seek to keep this world secure and free. May God give
peace.
May
God give peace.
For all who bear the burden and privilege of leadership, political, military and religious, asking for gifts of wisdom and resolve in the search for reconciliation and peace. May God give peace.
God give peace.
Let us remember before God and commend to God's sure keeping those who have died for their country in war and whose memories are treasured. And let us remember all who have lived and died in the service of the people of the world.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age will not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them.
We will remember them.
When you go home, tell them of us and say that for your tomorrow, we gave our today.
Before we close our ceremony with the blessing, we're going to sing the 2 verses from the national anthem.
Save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save our Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save our Queen. Not on this land alone, but in God's mercy shown on every shore. Lord, make the nation see that all humanity should form one family, the wide world o'er.
Go forth into the world in peace. Be of good courage. Hold fast to that which is good. Render to no one evil for evil. Strengthen the faint-hearted. Support the weak. Help the afflicted. Honor all people. And the blessing of God Almighty, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit be among you and remain with you this day and always. Amen.
Amen.